I don't know why I wanted to do something country tonight. I only know one country song, and it's by Garth Brooks. It's a lovely song. We used to do it in church when I was little. It goes like this. You know, a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows, and the dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you, and never knowing what's in store makes each day a constant battle just to stay between the shore. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Too many times we stand aside and let the water slip away, to what we put off till tomorrow has now become today. So don't you sit upon the shoreline and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance the tides. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. There's bound to be rough waters, and I know I'll take some falls, but with the good Lord as my captain, I can make it through them all. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. As for Nana, the Garth Brooks fan in the family. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Barbershop. We're open late tonight. I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
It's so good to see all of you. We have our YouTube show on Wednesday and Saturday mornings. But here on Instagram, some cool stuff happens, y'all.
So our conversation series has been going strong. We just hit our 1 year, so we've been having tons of fun friends.
Our 1 year anniversary. We put our first episodes on YouTube completely unannounced on July 22nd of last year. So we are so happy to be here. We have had the best year here with all of you. And tonight, we are going to talk to one of the nicest people in the wet shaving world. One of the first people we did get to meet in the wet shaving world long ago, a year ago. And it's lovely, but there is another person from Ariana and Evans the brand who's going to be joining us tonight as well. And look at this, all of our friends are here.
Everyone's been chatting. They all love the song.
Doug Blaine is here, Angelo's here, Crystal's here. Wow, look at this. This is so cool. And please, y'all, put some questions in the comments. Yes. Absolutely. And let's, without any further ado, let's welcome him in, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Charkalis.
All right. Is on our side here. Wait for it.
Drum roll to see if Instagram will work.
It's always the wait, and then you hope it actually
always
works.
A fun moment to see what happens.
Hey,
there he is!
How are you?
Buddy.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Doing very well, thank you.
Yeah.
So where are you joining us from?
I'm in the office. I'm in the shop. So this is the showroom here. It's a bit of a mess because now we're using it as storage for our EU order. So it's a little bit messy. So I'm not going to show you the mess.
All right, we have guest number 2 joining us as well. Let's see if Instagram will work. We wait. Wow, so many people are joining. Yeah. There we go.
Thalia.
Hi. Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Are we saying your name right? Is it Thalia?
Thalia, yes.
Oh, good.
Great. We wanted to make sure.
No, I'm so used to everybody.
Thalia, so I'll apologize if I mix it up.
No, you're good. I'm used to
Welcome.
it. So whatever you'd say, I'd say yeah.
All right. Thank you both for being here. I know being live on camera in front of all these degenerates is a little bit nerve-wracking, but I promise we're going to have a great time, and we wrote out some great questions for you. We watched a couple of your previous interviews, so hopefully we won't overlap too much, and we are just so grateful that you're both here with us, and you know, the founder of the company and part of the future of the company all at once. This is great.
And this is Thalia's first interview.
Okay, so nice.
Yeah.
Ask your questions.
Right.
Yes, please.
Right. So how much money do you make? No, I'm just kidding. No, okay, so no, it's not like that. Well, we thought just to make you a little bit less nervous, we would tell you a little bit about us before we start asking about you. My name is Marcus, and I've been a performer my whole life. I did my first musical when I was about 8 on a professional stage, and just have been kind of doing that my whole life. And I started teaching voice about 25 years ago, and started working with clients one-on-one about 10 years ago. So of course the lockdown was super fun for people like me, but it all worked out well. And so we just kind of decided to do this a year ago because we had a lot of time on our hands. I didn't want to play video games anymore, but I love playing with computers and editing and doing all that stuff. And I accidentally bought a Henson razor and went on to learn how to use it, and saw all of these soaps and was like, how has this whole world been here? And I had no idea.
And then I got jealous.
Yeah.
All the videos. We did see ones way back from when you were really little, but I was, I'm like, I had no idea that this whole world existed. So we thought we would try to do it, and then lo and behold, a year later, now we're interviewing fun artisans and things like you.
So we just kind of have a talk show where the little soaps are our guests. We don't do any shaving. We just talk about the soaps and stuff, and we just kind of have fun with each other, and that's pretty much.
Our first soap that we had from Ariana and Evans was Asian Plum. Was our first one that we
She's
had.
a good one.
That's usually, it's funny because that's usually people's first experience with us, even to this day. When people are buying their first soap, it's either Asian Plum or Peach and Cognac.
Interesting.
And we'd been doing it a couple of months, and we had just opened Aqua de Boracay, and Sarah had a heart blockage and had to go in the hospital for surgery. I know, between the two of us, you wouldn't think she was the one who needed heart surgery. But anyway, and I called her and I said, hey, is there anything I can bring you? And she said, my Aqua de Boracay splash, please.
Really?
Yeah.
I did. But I have actually been to Boracay, so that besides it smelling really good, but I have a double connection. Very cool. So.
Oh, that is cool.
So, did you have any questions for us before we kind of jump into our questions here?
I don't think so. I'm really honored. This is my first time doing anything live or any interview or anything like you said. So this is just really exciting. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
So, who's your favorite artisan? I'm kidding. Kidding. Talia's not smiling, so she doesn't think it's funny.
No, but it is funny because people ask us our favorites. Do you have a favorite soap? And it's like picking your favorite kid. I feel like we have such a hard time. Each day it changes. I'm like, this one's hitting my vibe today. This one's not. So everyone has a place in our den. I feel like we'd be missing out if we were missing anyone. But to pick a favorite is really hard. I know a lot of YouTube channels do top 5s and stuff, and we have a very hard time doing that because we can't ever pick.
I was kidding.
But I think but it's true. It's a good question. I do find that there are some days that my particular beard or my particular razor and blade combination are calling for one particular artisan, and some days it's another. And I know it's a bit of a trick question because I know that Peter is such a fan of so many of the other artisans out there because he started as a hobbyist like us.
True.
Oh, that's true. Talia, she knows.
I know. That's what got him started for the whole thing. So
the first video we saw was Thalia going through your soap collection when she was really little and telling you which ones she liked.
You actually saw that? You saw it?
Yeah. It found us. We just were typed in something and it came up. So, the algorithms on YouTube. But it was fun that you had such a good nose right away that you knew which ones you liked and you didn't like. And I was still like, I don't even know.
I was like, well, she agrees with you on everything.
So here's our first official question, but it is a conversation, so feel free to go.
Oh, yeah, and you can answer each other's questions. Feel free.
And you'll see a lot of the chat go by. If you want to respond to those, you can. Otherwise, they're having a wonderful conversation as well. But so technically, every woman that we know is a wet shaver. So it's not just a man's world, which is kind of cool to have a wonderful lady on with us. So we've been watching you grow up through those YouTube videos. So I know you've kind of been along this lovely journey as you go through your collection and stuff. So a question kind of for you is, what do you wish that the world knew about the wet shaving hobby that might make more people want to try it or even find out about it? Wherever you want.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot of things traditionally are just very masculine, a lot of traditional hobbies, so wet shaving being one of them. It really hasn't changed throughout the hundreds of years it's been practiced. For, I guess, Ariane and Evans, we try to do a modern twist on traditional wet shaving, so it's constantly evolving. So whether it be the new bases that my dad's releasing all the time, or the new fragrances, there can be feminine ones too. Just because it's traditionally a masculine thing doesn't mean that you can't do it too. It doesn't make you any less feminine. It's something that we all do. It's a natural thing. So
it's true.
Maybe not be less embarrassed.
To build on that, so a lot of women hobbyists that are into wet shaving, you know, they love some, Tobacco Road or, some really ultra masculine scent. And then some guys, it's like Anthony Esposito. I miss him. He hasn't done a video in a while. He loves gardenia. He loves florals. So it's interesting, this is what I think. There's really no such thing as something that's too masculine or too feminine. It's just a matter of whether you like the scent or not, right? It's either for you or not. So it really does.
Right.
It
It's
doesn't
so
matter.
interesting to me. Yeah, it's so interesting to look at the numbers when something like Baccarat Rouge is released, that 40% of its buyers initially were men. It's like, wait a minute. And then what Tom Ford did with that whole line of the unisex fragrances was like, okay, this is a whole different world now. And I think Creed Aventus smells way better on a girl. Just me.
But see, a lot of these scents a lot of them are unisex, really.
Yeah.
They really are.
Right. All right, let's see. Peter, long before you were a soap maker, you were a hobbyist. What brought you into the wet shaving world, and at what point did it become a hobby?
So that's an interesting question. So my father had a Gillette Super Speed. So he always used, but he used Barbasol. So he wasn't a wet shaver per se, but he had a safety razor. So I kind of grew up with that. And I don't know, I wanted to try something different. I always would get a 5 o'clock shadow. So, I mean, some guys, Paolo, Samurai Shaver, that guy's got heavy. There's some guys with a real heavy beard. I don't have a heavy beard, but my facial hair grows very quickly, but it's not super, super heavy. But I don't know. I just, I was harkening back to, wet shaving or not wet shaving, but using a razor. And I thought I would get maybe a smoother shave, something that would last the rest of the day, right? And I don't know what exactly prompted me, but I went to Amazon and I picked out an Edwin Jagger DE89. And because it was British, it had to be good, right?
Right.
Made in England, I saw. I don't even know if they're really made in England or not. But anyway, so that was my first razor. Came with a derby blade. And then my first soap was sticking with that English theme. Taub Sandalwood was my very first soap, and then it just kind of started from there. And so I thought it was really cool. It was different, cool. Of course, I cut myself a lot in the beginning, little paper cuts. But then after a while, after really a few shaves, you kind of get the hang of it. So I started I wanted to buy more soap, and I picked up a couple other things. One was really good, one not so good. And then I don't know what prompted me to just do a search on Facebook. I had no idea this was a thing. No idea that it was a hobby. And lo and behold, there's Facebook groups and for wet shaving. And so I just joined a few. and guys are posting their shit. I thought it was kind of crazy, but I kind of joined in. I was Tia, you remember? I was posting. I was putting out a chair and with a background and lining them up right. Posting shaves of the day, every single day, and I joined a couple other groups, and I don't know. Oh, I do know what prompted me to do a YouTube video. So, the old timers will remember this. My very, very first YouTube video. So I wanted to kind of document my journey into straight razor shaving. And so I thought, so it was a feather type of straight razor. It wasn't a real straight razor, but it was a knockoff of a feather razor. And it was a Samsung, something like that, Samsung. And so I tried it for the first time on video, and it was an absolute bloodbath. I still have a scar. I mean, it was a bloodbath. And I said that was my first and last video. And then guys like David Gonzalez and Bailey, and a few other guys. Oh, you got to do that. So I just started to kind of document. It was my last shave with that, by the way. I switched. I went back to DE razor shaving, but I kind of continued. I enjoyed the doing YouTube videos. So that's really how that journey began. So hobbyist, and I started doing reviews. So shaving with Charky was the channel.
Right. How fun. And then, because there was even a video of you having Thalia do your actual straight.
Hey, you remember that?
Yeah.
So we were in St. Martin at the time. And so I had her choose, if I remember correctly, I think you chose the soap, and I had a straight razor.
So.
And by the way, it was sharp. It was a sharp straight razor.
Yes.
But I trust my daughter. She's an amazing young woman.
I think I was
But
only what, 8 at the time? 7, 8?
I don't. You were very young.
Now
and
that's trust.
Yeah. But you know what? She didn't cut me.
Yeah.
And it was I was amazed. It was amazing. So yeah, that was kind of her introduction to wet shaving.
Before I let him shave me.
That is impressive.
That is really impressive.
I know people always ask if I'll do it, and I'm terrified that I'm going to chop his face.
No, I'm more
But
terrified now.
So I told her, this is what you have to do. I said, go light, stretch. Stretching is the key, and she did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was
impressive. See,
and
I was just, I'm like everyone else. You guys, I'm just a hobbyist.
Yeah, well, and so this actually is a good leeway to the question, because often in the wet shaving hobby, which it's funny because we didn't know that's what it was called at the beginning, but that's okay. But it does actually turn into a family affair. Like people's spouses or kids or people like pick the scent that they want them to shave with that day. Like everyone gets involved. So is there a part of the wet shaving and perfumery stuff, like even with your part of the family, becomes a family affair? Like everyone gets to jump in, or has it always been that way?
From day
Definitely.
one. Yeah. So my wife Evelyn has been she's involved with the shipping end of it. Thalia now is getting involved. I think the very first you helped me with, Thalia is really into matcha tea, and I wanted to create a matcha tea scent, and I thought I nailed it, and she said it was horrible.
No,
so
it was not very good.
So this was the first time that we actually collaborated on a scent.
Right.
And she said it needs some earthiness, it needs this and that. She brought in her powder, her matcha tea powder.
Right.
And she started blending stuff. She said, okay, I need some earthiness. So I said, oh, okay, grab that Virginia cedar. That'll help you with the earthiness. And grab this, a little bit more milk. So, okay, get this lactone. That's for, it gives you like this creamy. And then I forget what else you added, but I mean, she nailed it. She nailed it.
No,
I mean, I
bringing
started
in
it, but she made it so much better.
Oh, that's so
cool.
So she just has this natural. I mean, she's not a perfumer. I'm not a perfumer. I would never call myself that.
But it seems like like you both have really good noses, so it's fun to have like someone to bounce it off of instead of just it being up to one of you. Now it's kind of cool if you both can collaborate through the sense to be like, we need a little more of this, because I feel like we'd have a hard time deciding if it was finally done. Like I feel like that'd be the hard part.
Well, now nothing. I mean, she's like the drill instructor now in the office.
Yeah.
And nothing. I don't release anything without her giving a thumbs up.
Right.
So she has with final say so with the releases, the sense, the basically everything, the marketing, the labels. I won't. Well, she fixes the labels. She's designed some of the labels, but she has she's a very very big part of this company now.
Hey, I'm glad you could join us so people can put a face to the name and like know some of the magic behind the scenes that you're both coming up with.
As a matter of fact, Thalia, I'm going to jump ahead in our questions a little bit, but this is apropos. Can you tell us a little bit about, we know that you're about to start your next level of adventures in learning about perfuming, and you're going to go to New York. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you hope to learn and then what you hope to do with it?
Well, I've seen my dad's passion for perfumes grow and grow every single year, and it's not something I ever saw myself being interested in. But I think over the years and the repetition, going into work every day, asking advice on what needs what, I've kind of picked up this hobby of creating fragrances, and I want to do it the professional way. So I'm going to be attending the New York City Pratt Institute for Advanced Perfumery in the fall, which is really exciting. I love New York, and it's a little trip to escape a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it, just to see, I know, resins, absolutes, whatever I need to add, but learn the background as to why I need these things, how to use them correctly, what things go together, what things don't. I think.
Super cool.
Wow, and it's fabulous that you will have this lifelong foundation that you can build on.
And then I can apply it to the business, which is great. So.
It is funny, but every once in a while, I'll get a soap that I almost get nothing off of the puck, but I know to smell it every day for a couple of weeks, because some of them, like my nose starts to wake up to those new scent notes that I didn't know before. It almost has to learn how to find them. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
But so I'm so excited because of all the things that your nose is going to find, right?
I know.
That's so cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so here is the moment that I have been waiting for. Let me see. How did I exactly write this out? Okay, so from this is to both of you.
Yes.
From budget shaver to luxury hobbyist. What did I write here?
Wait for it. Please hold. We're professional, I swear.
Oh, yes, right. The dust seems to be settling for Ariana and Evans on different product lines for the different kinds of wet shavers and their different requirements and what they want out of the hobby. Lots of things have been shifting, but for today, it seems like we are like finding lanes. Can you talk about the different bases that you offer and the different lines that you now offer?
Or maybe who they're for, like how you categorize.
So let's start with the new shaving cream. So I started out. So the whole idea was, I've mentioned this in other videos, lives that I've done, but in business, you want to touch as many people as possible. You want to grow the business. It's a business, right? So I mean, when we started, we were doing this in the kitchen. It really wasn't that long ago. So, and then we moved we built an addition, moved to the basement, the garage, and an addition, and we lasted 8 months from there. And then we moved to another facility. And now we're here, and we're kind of outgrowing this. But so the whole idea is to expand, to grow the business. This is how we paid for her education, and this is how So, the shaving cream, the whole idea of the shaving cream is to touch a market that we were not a player in. So, that $15 price, there's a heck of a lot of people that had that cutoff of, 15, 16, 17.
Right.
They would never spend more than $17 for a soap. It's insane, right?
Yeah.
So that's a market we never touched. And I developed the Pedro Fiasco line, and it was very, very good. Started out with a shaving puck. but the pucks are just too manual intensive, labor intensive to produce. So we switched to a cream, and now we have this cream, which I think is really fabulous. And it's at that $15 price range. So now I think I thank you
Great
so funny.
visuals.
so I think we could be a player in that market. And I chose shaving creams because frankly, there's not many great shaving creams on the market.
Right.
There's a lot of manufactured shaving creams that are
Right.
some of them are quite good.
Yes.
So but there's not many artisan shaving creams
Right.
out there. Not many, maybe
And right.
a couple.
And just from where we're sitting on this side of the piano, it's a super smart move because like my piano player, I asked her, what's Alex shave with? And she said, oh, just Parasso. And I thought, there does need to be a product that is a lateral move in every way from those manufactured soaps into the artisan world. And I think the selling point is that we shot our first Hobbs review the other day, and the only thing about it that bugged me a little was typing up the ingredient list because 4 of the ingredients were just a string of letters and numbers.
Yeah.
And
it's it's just a different animal altogether.
Right.
Top's good. Listen, that sandalwood's a very synthetic sandalwood, but I still love it.
Right.
And it works.
But we love that there is a product that people who are used to that market, that price range, that functionality can seamlessly move over into these scents and into a better ingredient formula. So we think it's super smart and for exactly the same price.
So I think we can play in that market. And frankly, Sterling owns that market. I talked about this the other day. Sterling is wonderful company. The nicest people in the world. Rod actually made soap for me when I had the original shaving shop.
Wow.
And so he did the Novelist, and I think there was one other soap that he did. So that's back when artisans made soaps for me. And if you speak to a retailer, they'll say Tobbs outsells everything. It's just they're immense. The volume of sales that they do.
Right.
And as far as the artisan world, in that price range, in that $15 price range, Sterling's the king of all kings. But I think we could be a bit player. I think if someone's interested in a really nice shaving cream, really great performance, pretty good sense, it's A&E, then I think we can be a player. I think there's room for us there. So that's that. I'm very. This is such a long-winded answer to you. So that's the and I'm going to call it no. It's not entry level. Actually, it's really not. But it's our value line. But but the performance on that is damn good. It's as good as any $22 soap or even more. I mean, it's a fabulous soap. Kaizen. So Kaizen, now it's K2E, but Kaizen put us on the map. It was in that $20 range, $19.95. Kaizen saved us. I don't know if you've heard this, but I lost my job in the beginning of COVID. At the time, I was 57, 58, whatever it was. This is in was it 2020 or 2019? Well, anyway,
2020, yeah.
2020. It was in May of 2020. I lost my job after 17 years working for this company. And because I was a I was treated as an employee. But the reality was they would just wire me money. I was a private contractor. Because of that, and it was one of their highest paid people. I got 2 weeks severance after 17 years. This is in the height of COVID, and I'm getting goosebumps. Whenever I talk about this, I get goosebumps. Height of COVID. Who the hell's going to hire me? No one's hiring. All these companies are laying off.
Yeah.
I spend money like a drunk sailor on payday. I had no real nest egg. I'm being really, Talia's laughing because she knows. And, what am I going to do? Well, I said, we're going to give this a go. Right? So
We're
but it
so
just so
glad that you got fired. We are
this is
so
going to
glad.
tie into your question, I promise.
Sometimes when God closes a window, he opens the biggest door in the world. And that's what happened with you, man.
I'm tying into it. So um, I was ready to release Kaizen, the original Kaizen. 3 weeks after getting let go, Kaizen was released.
Wow.
Kaizen blew up. Asian Plum was really big for us. There was a lot of hype. There was a lot of interest with Asian Plum because I was a YouTuber, and people. So in the beginning, people were just curious, right? So Kaizen blew up for us internationally. So it allowed us to scrape, make a living, but scrape at the barrel.
Right.
Um, but so that was Kaizen, and now we're up to K2E. I wanted to challenge myself, so now we're the two, and that's kind of the for wet shavers for the hobbyist market. That $20 range is kind of a sweet spot. 20, 22, 25 maybe pushing it, but that's the sweet spot. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do better. And K2E has been panned as, a damn good soap. Whether it's one or two
Yeah.
or three or 10 or 20, or if it's in the conversation of some people's favorites.
Right.
So I wanted to challenge myself for Ultima. And some people say that K2E is my best work. I think Ultima is. A lot of people think Ultima is. So Ultima is that kind of that next level in that $25 range, but still affordable. Still
Right.
affordable. So that's where so I think we touch, all those buckets of, people that are looking to buy that are either hobbyists or, want to just get into the hobby. But those are the base. Oh, and then so I wanted to further challenge myself with a vegan base, and I gave it a couple of shots. I gave the original one was the shave butter. Some people really liked it. Some people hated it. Some people, but I think it was actually quite good.
Yeah.
And then I changed it up and introduced a VR1 that had with rice milk, and that was significantly better. But I thought I can do even better, and my goal was to just do the very best I can and see where what people think. And then we introduced VR2. VR2 is the Barbieri de Familia line.
Gotcha.
And that's a whole
Right.
another story, and I'll be on here for another hour talking about that. But it was born on a trip to Italy with all my friends, drinking Amaro del Capo
Right.
at dinner. So that's how that was born. Paolo from I mentioned Samurai Saver, and
Right.
Francesco was there, and a few other guys. Danielle, Anyway,
Right.
so that's that. Mattia,
Now,
he was there. Mattia is really big into the beard care.
right.
He has his own
Right.
company for beard care.
Now,
So
when we
so
first got
those
into
are
it,
the basis, and then
right.
then there's this new project.
Now,
with Legacy.
when we first got into it, I was talking to Sloppy Badger about price, and he said, "Don't, when you're getting into it, understand that there are those, like you said, that can't imagine paying more than $15 for soap. But on the other end of this hobby, there are those that money is not as important as seeing how far an artisan can go on the luxury side of things. So to answer that call, we have this new soap, and it's a collaboration. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. So I became friends with Daniela Malu. He's based in Rome. He has two barbershops in Rome. He comes from a family of barbers. His father was a prominent barber. Now his brother is involved in the business. So it's in the blood,
Right.
right? Daniela contacted me. I don't know how long. It's been a little over a year, and he just said, "I love your soaps," and so we just talked about soaps. I ended up sending him some. I saw who he was, and because I didn't, I didn't know who he was really at the time. But he at that time he had a million followers on TikTok at the time. Now he's at 2.3 million, and he just blew up.
Crazy.
Um, but great guy, magnificent barbershop, two as I mentioned in Rome. So anyway, um, not this last trip, but the trip before. No, Talia, you were with me, right? Were you with me when he mentioned about doing a line with me, or was it
Yes.
just prior to the trip?
There was a
Was
little
it?
bit of talk in both, I think.
Yeah. So
So maybe the
anyway,
prior
we
one.
sat in his barbershop in Rome,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about doing something together. He's the nicest guy. It's so just welcoming and polite, just soft spoken. He's just a real nice guy, real gentleman. And he talked about doing something together with me. And he said, this is what I would like. He goes, I would like something something in a glass jar, something very elegant.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, something that would withstand the test of time, something like in his exact words were a legacy soap. That he wanted to create a legacy type soap. And he mentioned, Martin DeCondre, something like that, something that just will be around forever. And so I accepted the challenge. And he said he wanted an oud scent. He loves oud.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, okay, let's do it. So I was a bit nervous about this because I love creating. That's what I enjoy doing the most. Talia can tell you that's the business part. I hate doing, but the paperwork and stuff like that. But the creative part, I can do that all day, all night without sleep. And so I started playing around with it. I had an idea of what I wanted. He had an idea. He told me some of the ingredients that he would like to incorporate into it. But I had that thing with the whole thing with oud. And I thought, for our first scent, it really shouldn't be an oud scent because you want something that will appeal to the masses. And I love oud myself, but not everyone loves oud, especially like a straight up, like a real heavy oud. So I said to him, I contacted him. I said, Daniela, you're a freaking barber. I said, we have to do a barbershop scent. And, so I said, why don't we do a barbershop with oud? And so he agreed to that. He had an idea and some other notes. I had my idea of a couple notes, and we kind of melted them together and created this scent. I don't. Have you smelled it? Did you get it? Receive this? Oh, so you have.
We placed our pre-order and with the rest of the group that sold it out this week.
No, because I was handing out. I was with orders. I wasn't doing it physically, but we were shipping out tiny little samples of it. So I think about 100 or so.
Samples because it can ruin an episode.
We do a first reactions show, so we're gonna wait for the big
Yeah, okay. But so anyway, the feedback has been wonderful. The feedback's been really
know
really,
it has just created shock waves from everybody that we've heard that smelled it.
And I'm shocked. So I was a bit nervous about that because he wanted something very elegant, and he said something. He wanted something in that price range of Martin DeCondre, and I never wanted to do a soap in that price range. I've said it on video that I would never do a $28 soap. There was times are tough. Even before they were tough, I never saw myself of doing that type of soap in that price range. And but with Daniela, I think it makes sense to do that. And but I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly surprised and shocked at the level of interest. We sold out, by the way.
That's so crazy.
With Legacy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And so I should show you it.
Oh yes.
So
the label.
so
the new font.
so here's the box for the aftershave.
Such a fan of this box.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And the bottle,
Beautiful.
Nice.
And it's
that
8
nice?
ounces, yes? 8 ounces?
8.5 ounces. So
8.5
you know
ounces.
the Ultima splash is gigantic, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent.
Wow. Crazy.
So
Love
this
it.
is
To put
5
it in perspective,
ounces.
there
This
you
is
go.
8.5. The reasoning behind that is the soap. So here's the soap.
Oh, its own box too.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Wow.
So the soap is going to last forever. You'll see. You'll see on the label it says 200 grams.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm actually filling these up. I've used this already, but it's the reality is it's 220 grams.
Right.
Wow.
Between 220 and 230.
Right.
So
It'll last you what?
Right.
it'll last a very, very, very long time. Plus, it's it's almost like it's a concentrated soap. You need very, very little.
Yeah, I think you said 3 times more tallow than you normally use, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
But there's I mean it's a complete redesign. It's it's not like I took K2E and just increased the tallow.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So with that's your legacy, which is like, on the higher tier. But if somebody was like, since we deal a lot with the newbies, if someone just walked in, like if you had an open storefront, what would
this is for Thalia specifically.
kind of like the other side. So if no one has ever heard of wet shaving, they're just walking in as your scent knows. Is there a certain one out of your line that you would suggest that they kind of try
what
first?
A&E scents would you have offered the newbies?
So strictly fragrance or base too?
Strictly fragrance.
Oh, okay.
Just smell.
Me, I'm a big fan of like vanillic gourmands, woody. So I love Vanilla Vendetta. I love our matcha, obviously. Our pistachio is very, very good. I really love that one. And Big Top, which it has been out for years.
Oh, nobody knows about it, by the way, because it's never been available to the public. Yeah,
it's one of my favorites.
It's so good.
I saw it on a shave of the day, and I
good.
tracked it down for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we don't really see many people talk about it, but it's like you're walking into a carnival. I love it. Yeah, it's very, very good.
Subtly sweet in the right ways.
That was the first soap I ever asked Peter about when we first talked. He was like, "Oh, it was a popcorn note," and you could tell Peter was like, "I've got all these magnificent scents," and he wants to know about the popcorn. But
no, it's good.
It's very unique. That's for sure.
That's a good word.
Okay, what else, Thalia?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Repeat that.
What other of your soaps would you have offered to the newbie?
Well, fragrance-wise, the ones I mentioned, but base-wise, if someone was to walk in and they're like, I don't know anything, but I want to learn how to shave right, I definitely recommend our shaving creams. Those are what I use because if you're not a hobbyist, you don't have a brush and a straight edge or a professional razor to use. A lot of girls just use hair conditioner and just whatever they have on their hair, just slap on wherever they want to go. But with the shaving creams, you could just grab a little bit and just rub it on, or if you want to use a brush, you could use a brush. It's just really versatile and it's really easy, and it's kind of like a gateway if you're trying to get into it, but you don't know what you're necessarily doing yet.
That's a good way to put it.
Thank you.
Gateway.
Perfectly said. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, right. But I don't know if this has come up now that you're kind of more behind the scenes with the business and getting more hands-on. Has it ever been like a thought of yours to have more of a women's line? Because I feel like it's, not that you have to have one, but some, like we were talking about earlier, some of the scent can go both ways, but it's like, is there a thought of having an intentional, length?
Something for the ladies someday?
Yeah. I definitely want to work, especially if I do when I do carry out that class. With perfuming, I definitely want to make more feminine fragrances. Right now, I'm working on a project. It's not feminine, but it's more gender neutral. A lot of our fragrances lean masculine to gender neutral, but I just want something right in the middle that both people can use. And it's something that I'm working on completely by myself, which is really nerve-wracking, but it's really exciting at the same time. We haven't really said anything about it. My dad made a post like a few days ago and then took it down because I was like, it's not ready. But I'm really excited. I'm trying to launch my own mini fragrance line. It's going to be called Ariana's Version. So it's kind of going to be a spin-off of some fragrances we already have, but gender neutral Ariana's Version take. Or just things that I'm completely coming up with on my own. So right now I have one scent solidified. I'm super ready for it. Everybody that I've given it to loves it. It's called Pistachio Silk. So it's a spinoff of our regular pistachio, but I added a bunch of things. It's kind of a more creamy wood, softer version. It has rice milk. Yeah.
Thalia sent this to a reviewer. You can say the reviewer's name because it's the and the reviewer loved it. It was it's Cami Reviews.
Cami Reviews on TikTok, I believe.
CA.
She's CAMMY and then Reviews, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was CA.
I think that.
Maybe we saw when
I think we saw that. She's in her bedroom.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
It was fun to see her actually reviewing. Like that was.
I was very nervous because I was like, she's going to be honest. She reviews fragrances, so I'm really happy with what she said. Though she really liked it. I've given it to every friend I have, every family member. I'm like, smell this, just shove it in their face, and everybody loves it.
She has this natural ability. So now I wished I had that, but now I think it's perfect to fine tune that, and
find like
so
print that's instead of it just being all Ariana Evans, now it's kind of like your little.
It's still it'll still be part of Ariana and Evans, but it'll be Ariana's version.
My own little baby. So everything from the production to eventually the marketing, the creating the fragrance, the labels, everything will be all me. So it's a good project to work on. A lot of work, but
I love it because what I see is her passion, and I love seeing that in her.
Right.
And
that's so nice. Yeah, it's nice that they overlap.
Yes.
That you have something that you can share kind of, but have your own independence.
Right. Like my mom was a singer. It was kind of an accident that we both were singers, but it was just really what bonded us very deeply. So it's very cool to watch those videos going back to when you were such an itty bitty and seeing that you shared that bond and that now that's taking your company into the future. That's so cool, you guys.
Yeah.
I think so.
Now, here's an interesting question. We're going to get controversial now. This is as bad as it gets. Are there any scent notes that generally most people like that you two are not fans of?
So for me, I had mentioned the other day I was on a live, and I mentioned neroli. I don't care for neroli as a standalone scent. There's something else that I have. I love it, but by itself, it's so strong. Galbanum. So I don't know if you've ever smelled galbanum. I love galbanum, but in very, 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 very minute amounts, because it could just overpower everything.
Right.
So I mean, there's a few, but generally speaking, every scent has a place, and certain scents aren't really meant to be noticed because they'll just enhance other scents. Maybe by themselves they just smell like they're just awful.
Right.
But
there's civet in this, but I know what it's doing.
Yes.
And it's
exactly. It's an animalic.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Let me see.
How about you, Thalia? Do you have something that now you work with it so much?
Yeah.
You're like, they want this in there.
I am really not a fan of aquatics. I don't know. I really don't like it. So the undersea, everybody loves, but I just, I don't want to smell like water. No, but but I understand it because because I don't like it doesn't mean it's a bad scent. It's just not for me.
Right.
So like I respect it. but it's just not something I'd want to put on myself. So.
Right. And smell all day. Yeah.
Now, there are optical illusions that fool the eye. There are auditory, that Laurel Yanny thing that fool the ear. What is something about this sense of smell that you wish everybody knew? Is there can it be fooled? Are there weird things about the sense of smell that we never talk about?
Is that for me or for
both of you? I know it's a little bit of a weird
question. You could go first. Whatever.
Yeah. So I think most people know, but maybe a lot of people don't know that are not so interested in fragrances or in certain scents. But it does unlock memories of right. Maybe you smell something and it's something that your mother wore when you were, 9 years old, or something that your grandfather. Whenever I smell Old Spice, even though today's version is not the same, but it smells like my grandfather's bathroom. And so there's certain things that just unlock. There you go. Yeah.
That's the real stuff.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. So that it's not quite the same. So
both grandparents for me too. Yeah.
So, but also I think scents can really unlock emotions besides bringing back past memories, but it could, if you're down, there's certain scents that will bring you up or calm you, maybe help you sleep better, maybe lavender, right? So even so there's a lot to scents other than just liking the smell.
Right. And Thalia, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah.
We're still newbies, so we still very much see ourselves as newbies.
But I think that's what's kept us in it too, is because we were surprised how much we were affected by the scent. We didn't expect to enjoy this lane as much as we have.
There have been episodes where I start crying because I lost my mom not too long ago, and when there are things that bring that up, I've left it in the episode because it's real. These do have that effect on us as people.
Can I just add one more thing before Thalia? So the other thing about wet shaving and scents, the fragrance of the soap and the different components, the different materials that may be used to create this scent. Most people starting out have no idea what's the difference between, I mentioned neroli. What's the difference between neroli or galbanum or civet, like you had mentioned, or sandalwood versus cedarwood? How do they differ? You know what I did? I went to the health food store. And the health food store had a bunch of stuff, and that's how I would smell all these different. That's the difference. But anyway, I find with the wet shaving world, the hobbyist, the newbies getting into it that maybe aren't into designer fragrances, certainly never even heard of niche fragrances, they start to learn the differences and become interested in fragrances. And so I think wet shaving is the entry drug into fragrances. So many people got their start, their interest in fragrances because of their love of certain scents in their shaving soap. So
yeah, that's us.
Well, I'm never going to experience Lost Cherry at those prices, but in the shaving soap I can, and it was just opened my eyes to this whole new world of what folks had done with scents since I left the world during Calvin Klein obsession days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's been a few waves of revolution since then. So,
or how about Creed Aventus?
Yeah.
Most people never even heard of Creed Aventus, right? Until they got into wet shaving, and a lot of people, including me, can get of
puppy.
What did you?
Oh, I wish I had.
Every animal lovers too. We have
fans in our episodes. Everyone's like, "Where's Lainey?"
She's on the show. She sleeps on the keys.
She's adorable.
So anyway, I'll let Thalia
Yeah. What
Yeah.
do you wish everybody knew about the sense of scent?
Or
How
like
is it
your
funny?
scent journey that you're kind of figuring out.
Or why shouldn't I
think,
trust my nose all the
no,
time?
yeah, I definitely agree with everything my dad said. Especially getting into fragrances, people need to realize that same with taste, your senses evolve all the time. My mom always said if I didn't like something to eat it at least 10 times before I come to a conclusion if I like it or not. I'm pretty sure that's just how she got me to eat my vegetables, but it worked.
Right.
So with smell, you can smell something and initially, especially with like top base notes of people starting, they don't understand the concept of that. So their initial smell could be something completely different than what the actual residual scent is going to be.
That is
so
right. That is
yeah.
so right. Yeah.
So just to understand that it's something that's going to constantly evolve, something you like now can be something completely different in 2 weeks. So
right. Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So here's a question we ask everyone who's brave enough to come on with us as a team. What do you love best about each other?
I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Are you kidding me? Okay.
No.
Shall I go first or you want to
Yes,
go?
please. You can go
Sure.
first.
Okay. I'm going to bore people. All right. So,
Keep it short.
Tia, I tell you this all the time. So, Thalia is the most remarkable person. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying. I'm going to start.
Dad's
Damn
going
it.
down.
Right.
She's the most remarkable person I've ever known in my life. I'm so incredibly proud of her. Everything that she does exceptionally well. She was a. Okay, now I'm going to really. Now people are going to
No,
start leaving.
don't cry.
That's okay. We're almost done anyway.
There's a lot of dads
You know,
here.
so go.
Oh yeah, this
You
is
know,
where all the great dads
through
are.
through school, through elementary and high school, she always made high honors, and through college, dean's list girl, magna cum laude, from University of New Haven. Um, she started school a year early. She was always younger than everyone else, and she graduated a year early. So she was basically
Wow.
2 years younger than anyone else graduating. She is the sweetest, kindest, most gentle
Thank
person.
you.
She's something you don't know. She's so freaking funny. She's a pisser. She's my daughter. She's my best friend. She's everything to me.
Cool. But it
Thank
speaks
you.
that you guys spend so much time working together, you know, that your relationship is that wonderful. That's very cool. Not all people have that. So,
But that's a tough act to follow, Thalia. Wow.
Oh God, no, mine's gonna suck compared to this one. No, my dad's really my best friend. I know a lot of people say that, but I'd rather hang out with him than my boyfriend. Like what I love going out to eat with him. I love traveling with him.
But he's there. You're not supposed to say that.
He can't hear. It's okay.
He knows what she
No,
means.
we get along so well, and I know a lot of people don't have the best relationship with their fathers, but I get along so great with mine, and I'm so thankful for the relationship I have. Business-wise, I know a lot of people, they have all these great ideas and aspirations in life, but they don't really act on it. But my dad acts on it a little too much sometimes with all these bases, but he really acts on it, and he puts 110% into every single thing that he does, which a lot of people don't. So I'd really admire that and respect that, and I want to replicate that within my life. Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Thank you.
We've been ignoring our community questions here. Let's
let's
take a look. Marcus and Sarah, how did you find this community and why did you dive right in with the show? I'll give you the 30-second version. I was a member of a shave club, which will remain nameless, the Dollar Shave Club. And they switched. I bought, the handles kept breaking. I kept buying more, and they sold me a bunch of handles the week before they switched handles, and they no longer worked. So I was so pissed that I bought a Henson out of pure spite, and I went on YouTube to see how to use it. And all of a sudden, we saw these guys shaving with all these amazing things. And I went, wait a minute. It's not so much about the razors for me. I want to smell like a Boardwalk Barbershop. I want to smell like Boracay. I want to smell like all these things. And so we thought, well, as long as we're really bored, as long as, we have this lifetime sort of in show business that we can use to do something fun. We wanted to do a little kind of a talk show, but not anything big. We aren't really about subscribers or numbers. We just want
actual shaving.
Right. We just want to have fun together and do something fun and shine light on a world that needs more light. And after meeting all of you, and after meeting the very first week, we talked to Sean and McDuff's and Will at Barrister and Man and Zach and Melody at Moonsoaps, and they were just and you, Peter, for an hour, and you were all just the most amazing people doing it for the right reasons, and almost all of you started as hobbyists, and that's what we love, and so we just decided, well, as long as we've never smelled one, let's film an episode and see how it goes, and if it's really fun, maybe we can do more and more of this. And so now it's just 320 episodes later. So
that's amazing.
And, just a few. It's
yeah.
We need a new house, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Lost my mom in 2012. Figure why I love peach and cognac reminds me of the air freshener she had in her 98 Sunfire as an 8-year-old kid.
Oh,
see?
That's
nice.
Chris. And this is from, let's see.
Carlos.
Carlos says, hey, beautiful people, make sure you all get the Legacy, the best bass I've ever used. And Carlos knows, y'all.
Who is that? That's Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos. Thank you, Carlos.
Ken and Izzy. Izzy says, go. Oh, wait, I'm not going to read that. And Ken says, what are your favorite scents that you own from other artisans? Great question.
That was for you, both Thalia and Peter specifically.
I don't think
you have
I don't. Nope.
She's right.
I'm loyal.
Girl.
I'm loyal.
She is ready to die.
Oh, wait, Jesus.
There we go.
It's been so long since I've purchased this.
Busy, so yeah.
Right. Oh, it looks like those are all the questions.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, you two, you've kind of touched on what I'm about to say tonight, and it's important because you understand it. Our friend Lee was just on our Rabid Banana episode, and he said, I used to hate mornings. I used to hate mornings. And now they're my favorite part of the day because I get to smell banana and I get to smell Big Top and I get to smell all of these things. The moments that we have in our shave mirror, and like you said, they are very often family affairs and decisions. Yes. What we're going to shave with that day are really important moments for us. They are really important rituals of self-care. And they are tribal. There is blood involved. These are important things that we do. And it's all designed to make us feel better, to make us look better, not just for us, but for our world. If there were not people like you two who knew how important those moments were to us, we wouldn't have all of these amazing soaps. So just on behalf of our little barbershop, we wanted to say thank you for taking that leap when you were so scared and when you had lost your job and you had nothing. Knowing that God had opened that window for you and jumping out and trusting all of us that if you worked hard and you did really amazing work, that we would be there for you and your community would be there for you. And we are. So you two, thank you for knowing how important these are to us and giving us the level of work that tells us how important they are to you. We are so grateful.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Thalia, please keep us updated on your adventure in New York. Is Pratt the same school that also has an architecture school?
I believe so.
Oh,
yes.
I have a voice student that graduated from there recently
cool.
and loved it because it's in Brooklyn. It's like the coolest place in the world.
They have a campus in Brooklyn and New York City, and I think one other place.
Yeah,
so it must be the same.
Please keep us updated on the new soap, Peter. Thalia, please keep us updated on your adventures in New York so all the degenerates know what to look forward to when you get home. And keep us updated on your new line.
Yeah,
certainly will.
Soon, right? Is it next week the official, or is it one more week?
So as you know, because you're VIP members,
we did.
So you guys, you guys will receive it as soon as I receive the labels, right?
Gotcha.
So I think I'll have the labels by Friday. Could be sooner. All right, by Friday. It should be by Thursday because they're going to print Wednesday, and I told them, listen, just overnight it to me. So hopefully we'll have it sooner. As soon as I have them in hand, then I'll be ready to release to the public.
Love it. And as soon as we get it, y'all, we're going to bump that episode up in the schedule. So a few
thank
days
you.
after we get it, we will release the episode, and we can't wait. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes,
thank you for having us.
It was our pleasure.
And we'll talk to you soon, maybe again near Christmas.
And next time I'm on, don't make me cry on live.
No, nobody knows.
That was the best part.
Nothing happens. It's fine.
All right.
All right. Take care, you two. We'll talk
Bye.
to you soon. And good night, everybody. We hope to see you in our
Bye.
Barbershop Wednesdays and Saturdays on YouTube. Everybody take good care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you soon.
Take care. Bye, Tia.
Bye.
Good night,
I'll talk to you
everybody.
later.